Hello, everyone.
Hello.
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 It is actually a good time to come together, I think, and talk about the plays. I feel like we can have a really good conversation about what it's been like to get this far. The thing about Carol Churchill is that it's actually hard to talk about her, I find.
Yes.
It's easier to talk about the process of putting it together.
Yeah.
Because that's when it all seems to happen.
Every time she writes a play, she explores a new form for that particular idea she wants to explore. And the specificity of the language is an absolute joy and a delight, and also quite terrifying. Because, oh dear, you can just, it's mind-bending.
Yeah, and maybe it's helpful to say at this point, Carol Churchill often doesn't use punctuation. As an actor, that is enormously informative and also much harder, in a way, to play, isn't it?
So hard.
Oh my God.
And she is really specific. Like sometimes she will give you a couple of lines and there'll be commas through the first half and nothing for the second half. You're like, I think there's a hint there in rhythm.
And it weirdly takes the pressure off too, I think, because as actors sometimes we can have the paralysis of choice, so it's like I could do this or I could do this, and when it's it's instructed so specifically, it's like, oh, I really just have to serve that. It is tricky, but it's also really simple.
Because you're reflecting it back to us, so we can offer and then you shape. In 45 years in the business, the clearest exchange I think I've ever had of presenting work and then having it shaped in the room with everybody and having alternate ways of doing it and other suggestions made because you're very keenly looking at the tone and the pace. Because I think sometimes if there's no punctuation, there can be a temptation to race through something. And so it's interesting when you then say, it doesn't have to go that fast because of the lack of punctuation.
And it's actually a joyous thing for me to realise that we have got to do it together. We've got to learn it together. We've got to get familiar with it together.
I think there's like a beautiful political message in that idea that we have to do it together. You know,
I agree.
Yeah. Theatre always does that, but it's more profound in Carol Churchill, I think.
That 60 odd years of writing.
Yeah.
You feel it and you feel it playing it. She asks us to move so quickly through things. There is no fat, there is no indulging anything.
But you have to do it with ease as well.
Yes.
And space and relaxation and such dexterity. Like it requires such accuracy and dexterity.
It's a real ride, but the specificity, the truth of every one of those beats is so real on a head, heart, body level that it doesn't feel like it's too fast, but it's hitting every beat of that experience.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to waste.
So, Escaped Alone, set in a garden, and these four women are sitting in that garden talking about their lives, ordinary, kind of mundane, regular things, and also kind of big personal things, terrors, fears, loves, wishes. What do you love most about Escaped Alone as a play?
Its complexity, the way Carol Churchill manages to explore ideas that are on a personal level, as well as somehow you are always aware also of its kind of global reach. It's so vigorous and robust and lived. The experience of the women.
And so the women in the garden, they talk about their history. They talk about the street where they live. What else do they talk about? Deb?
From my point of view, from Vi, her loss is so great that she's manifested this other personality just to survive.
Yeah.
And Carol Churchill has allowed that to present as a clown.
She's funny.
Yeah, but that's because
Yeah.
the true nature of the clown is absolutely matched by the depth of her pain. And that's what I'm enjoying playing with. And it's a universal experience. The audience are going to recognise things in each of us that will resonate with them.
What else does she talk about, Deirdre, do you think?
The people in our lives, and we've all known each other, grandchildren and children and careers, work, identity through work.
Yes.
What is leaving us as we're growing older. Tremendous affection between the women and shared jokes and teasing. And the strength of being together through time, I think.
I have to say this, I am so thrilled to be a part of a company about women as a disabled woman. The character I'm playing lives with depression, but she's also now disabled. And so that gives a very interesting kind of elbow for me to think about.
It is such a joy to have you four perform this work that she's written for women, of not just of your age, of your experience, of your wisdom, of your craft.
Yeah.
I feel like as an actress getting older, traditionally the roles get less and less demanding. I look at this work and go, it's extraordinarily demanding, and that's right for you four, because you've accumulated all this skill over the years of working in this industry.
Masterclass.
It is though, it absolutely
I'm not
is.
joking. I
I
mean
know.
it.
It's so, I feel so lucky to be in the room with these four women. It's a gift as a director to get to make this work. And so what if only, second play of the night, I knew, when do you get to stage this sort of 20-minute piece of theatre? You can't bring an audience to the theatre just for 20 minutes. And so I thought, well, maybe I can put both of these shows together in one evening. And so we wrote to Carol Churchill. We wrote to Carol Churchill and asked her how she felt about the two plays sitting together. And she wrote back and she said she loved the idea. Yeah. But I really have this sense that the plays speak to each other, and yet they're such different works. What if only is a piece about someone who you're playing who is grieving, who is trying to make sense of a world without their loved one?
We're similar, the plays are similar because of their universality. I think the experience of this someone, literally called S, someone, is an experience. You don't even have to have lost a loved one to be in the throes of torment that involve speculating, what if I didn't? If only I hadn't, if only I had, if only I did. That is the torment that this woman is sitting in. But beyond that, you can access this story through multiple life experiences, I think. Perhaps these guys have a similar journey with text, because you guys don't have characters. Well, neither do I. I'm just somebody. I'm S on the page. But I do feel, because of what I'm talking about, I've had to build a history and I've had to do that work so that I am bringing someone else's life onto the stage with me. But it's fascinating watching these two gems work without any character descriptions, without any real names.
Well, playing an idea, you can't play an idea, but you can allow that idea to exist within what you're doing. You're not holding on to what you would normally kind of hang your hat on in a play, which is your character and maybe it's emotional stuff or whatever it is, but you don't. That doesn't exist for us, and
Can you tell us
I'm
about
playing.
the
I'm
character?
the present.
Yeah, the present.
I am the present.
You are the personification of the
Of
present.
the present. It took me a lot of gear changes going on inside my mind. But one of the things, which is, rather than play the character of the present, allow the present to play me.
Oh, that's great.
Which freed me up from certain limitations that I'd put on it. But it's the text that'll tell you what it is.
Lucy, what you're playing, what the process has been so far?
I play capital F future. I'm both the future, but I'm also a past future. I suppose my character is an apparition of sort. It's a sort of not quite human being. That is different from me because I am a human.
Yes, and that's been the hardest thing for us to find. What is a future when they are embodied, and how do they move, and where do they want to go on stage, and how do they take up space? Yeah.
I think the audience will meet the play as we are meeting the play, and they bring their own huge lives to it.
It's not heavy going.
No, it's not at all.
It's so not heavy going. It's not ponderous.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to talk to you all.